Okay, this message is for Jason, who sent me a video asking about how to play the introduction to Take the A Train, and I'm going to correct some of the bad habits that he has on this opening passage. The passage in question is, and that's it. On Jason's video, Jason was doing several things wrong, and this is first thing you did wrong is you have a twist in your wrist. You were presetting your fingers to play. You got your thumb on the flat 5 and your pinky on the 3, and you're all set to play the lick. But the problem is you can't preset because that creates tension when you preset your fingers. You got to let the hand be relaxed until you call it, until you use it. So, first thing that's wrong is because you are preset, you have this twist in your wrist. It's really bad. You're doing something like this, and ouch, that hurts. I can feel the strain just by doing that. This is called ulnar deviation, and this is called radial deviation. And it's bad for a couple of reasons. The first is that it breaks the fulcrum. This is a fulcrum, and if you twist to the left or right, all the power and strength of playing comes from the arm, and the weight of the arm and gravity. And you never press into a key, by the way. You can let all your weight fall down, but the second you hit the key, you gotta rest up. So my finger is not pressing anymore. As soon as I hit, I'm totally relaxed. I'm just leaving enough weight to keep the key down. So when you twist the wrist, all the weight and power of the arm comes down through the arm, but it hits this twist in the wrist and it stays here, which is going to give you wrist pain. It's also going to make your fingers weak. That's the other thing. When most pianists are trained to play from the fingers, and there are no muscles in the fingers, first of all. So all those years of finger exercises were a waste of time because there's no muscle here. The muscles that move your finger are your flexor muscles, which are here in the forearm. And if you hold your arm and move your fingers, you'll feel these muscles moving. Flexors are here, extensors are here. When you flex this muscle, it pulls the tendon, which flexes the fingers. So all the playing actually comes from the arm, not the fingers. And another reason why we wouldn't use the flexor fingers to play the piano is because the flexors are strong muscles, but they're designed for gripping and holding things. They're not designed for playing the piano, especially with a relaxed hand like you're trying to play from. So, a stronger and less fatigable muscle are the pronator and supinator muscles, and they're here in the elbow. And you can use the pronators and supinators all day, and you'll never fatigue because these muscles don't fatigue, and they're very fast. And unlike the flexors, which are slow muscles, they fatigue quickly. I can feel the fatigue already. So you don't play from the fingers; you play from the pronators and supinators and the weight of the arm. So, regarding that twist, if you do twist, have you ever waxed a car? If you wax the car, you notice all the motion comes from the shoulder and the elbow when you wax the car. Same thing if you're washing a window, comes from the shoulder and the elbow. If you write on a chalkboard, it comes from the shoulder and the elbow. You don't wax the car like this, you don't wash your window like this, and you don't what was the other example I used? You don't ever use the wrist to do things. You use the whole arm. So when you play the piano, you don't play like this. You use the whole arm. Same thing with typing. Typists do this too. So you don't twist the wrist to type. You just type like this from the arm. So you got to keep the wrist straight. Never twist it. The second thing you're doing wrong is because you're playing from the fingers. As I said, the flexors are weak. You got to play with the weight of the arm. The reason why you missed your first note was because you had this twist and you're playing from the finger. You need to readjust the elbow whenever you use the pinky. A lot of pianists feel that a lot of teachers teach that the pinky is weak and you need to strengthen it. No, you don't. You need to readjust it. So when you put the pinky in a straight line with the forearm, you get all the power you need, and it's just as strong as all of the other fingers. You don't need any more power for the pinky, you just need to align it. So, first thing you need to do is get rid of the twist, play with gravity, and get a straight line in the forearm. So that's your first note. You drop the pinky down with the first note. Second thing, or fourth, I don't know what number we're on, that you do wrong is that you're trying to go in two different directions at the same time. First of all, you've preset your fingers. And when you do that, this is called abducting. When you abduct your fingers, the fingers are pulling, your thumb is pulling in this direction, pinky is pulling in this direction, and these fingers have no idea where to go because you've got these vector forces. In physics, they're called vector forces, where you got these two muscles pulling in two different directions at the same time. So what you're doing, your hand is low, so your pinky is playing this note. The lick is going down, but you're pulling up because you're trying to reach up to this E flat. E flat's higher than E. Not pitch-wise, but physically it's higher. So you got to not only go up to it, but you're going in this direction. But then the lick is going down. So your hand doesn't know what it's doing because you're going in both directions, 3 directions at the same time. No, you're going in 4 directions. You're going down, you're trying to go up to this, but you're also pulling this way, and you want to go this way. So your hand is in total chaos. You can only go in one direction at one time. Likewise, you can only flex or you can extend. You can't do both at the same time. You can only pronate or supinate at the same time. You can spread your fingers out and go into different directions, but you shouldn't because hopefully I've made it clear you can't go in these 2 different directions at the same time, or 4 directions. So, you can only go straight down, and you got to play all notes straight down, and you can't, obviously you can't play like this because well, every motion has an equal and opposite motion. In order to play down, you got to first come up. Hannon was very close to the answer, but the error in his logic was he said you raise one finger up in order to go down, and that's good, but it creates a dual muscular pull. Just pull your finger up like that, and you can feel the pull down here in the flexors. So raising a finger is not good. You can raise the whole arm though, and it's totally relaxed. And there's no tension at all when you raise the whole arm. Sometimes you can't raise the whole arm, but you can pronate or you can supinate to raise the finger high so you can get height. So what I'm doing here is I'm using gravity for my first note, and then I'm pronating for each successive note. But because I got to get higher than the C flat, when I drop my pinky, my arm is raised. And so my ring finger is automatically on top of the E flat. And all I have to do is pronate down to it. Now you're not going to pronate each note. So you group these notes together and do one pronation with a little forward movement, because all 5 fingers are different lengths. And to compensate for the differences in lengths, you can come out and do this and walk in. I'm coming up and out. Middle finger just goes down, ring finger just goes down, and thumb just goes down. So it's one big group. And once you get those, then you can do your piece. Notice it's all gravity. I'm not really using the fingers, it's just gravity. Hope it makes sense. Good luck.